Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel SS Analysis. Today I am going to present my analysis on the current status of global markets amid the growing concern about the global slowdown when the Chinese data indicates that most of the economies have come under the growing pressure of tariff trade war which has been prevailing since October 2018. We have been continuously witnessing the corporate margins under pressure, and most of the countries are facing the growing concerns of tariff trade war. No doubt that both the world's top economy are trying to resolve this problem, but still they are not able to finalize any deal. Now that the final meeting has been postponed to April, which makes the situation more precarious than ever before. Therefore, the need of the hour is to conduct a review over the current situation of global equity markets. Today, I am going to conduct my second part of this study. First part I have been concluded last month, which you can find in my last analysis with title Upcoming Market Crash of 2019. Now, once again, I am going to conduct the second part of this series where I check the current status of most of the world markets. So let us start the day with the current status of the movement of S&P 500 futures. Friends, this is a chart which I constructed long time back when I was conducting a study on the previous two market crashes, when I studied market crash of the year 2000, which occurred finally on September 1st 2000. But here you can see that after touching the highs of 1545, S&P 500 futures faced stiff resistance at this level and moved downward. But once again, the S&P 500 tried to cross this stiff resistance level but could not, and we witnessed a steep fall in the S&P 500 futures which continued till October 2002, and after taking support after a good consolidation at the level of 769 for almost 10 months, S&P 500 futures started to move upward from March 2003. Here you can see that the S&P 500 futures once again started to move on an uptrend voyage, and once again they touched this resistance on 1st October 2007 on the same level. First they touched this stiff resistance in July 2nd 2007 and moved downward up to this last uptrend line, and no doubt that once again S&P 500 futures tried to break this resistance on 1st October 2007, and third time they tried on 1st November 2007, but finally they could not, and they started to move with the nosedive move, and this move continued up to February 2nd 2009 up to the level 673, where we can see S&P 500 futures finally found support, and here we can see the S&P 500 futures started to move upward in zigzag manners, this time from the year 2009. Here we can see the move was too good, and finally they reached up to the level of 2857, where they found their first resistance at the same level, which I call this resistance line as a warning line for S&P 500 futures. Here they witnessed their first resistance at 2892 and moved downward with a steep downward move up to the level of 2515, and here we can see that they consolidated for some months and started to move upward up to the level of 2922, where they attempted 3 times to break this second uptrend line. This is a final line I call when the S&P 500 futures, where the S&P 500 futures find their second resistance during an uptrend, and here you can see that the S&P 500 futures attempted repeatedly to cross over this second resistance line, which is currently at 2922, but could not, and the S&P 500 futures started to move downward up to 2497, where after some consolidation for approximately 2 months, S&P 500 futures started to move upward from January 1st 2019 with a sharp steep upward move. Here you can see that no doubt that this reversal is quite sharp. Here I would like to indicate some bearish signal when the S&P 500 futures have achieved the levels of 2823, but here you can see that the 20 days exponential moving average has has come below the 20 days moving average, which indicates a bearishness in S&P 500 futures, and I find that this time the S&P 500 futures will not even dare to touch the levels of 2926 because of thick presence of bears at these levels. People are waiting the S&P 500 futures to touch this level, and I find that the bears will come to take short position at these levels, and I find that the impact of tariff trade war is yet to be pronounced in the equity markets at global levels because the result season is going on in US, and I find that most of the corporates are announcing deficit in their profits, and big names are there which have already announced their results, which indicate that their margins are under pressure. So I find that if we find a downward move from the level of 2922, we will see a sharp downward move back up to the level of 2429. If the S&P 500 futures find some support at these levels, we may see some recovery back up to the level of 2716, but I find that if the tariff trade war issue remain unresolved, no doubt that the S&P 500 futures will continue to move downward up to this decisive zone where the 200 days moving average may provide some support to S&P 500 futures at the level of 1675 before moving more downward. No doubt that the S&P 500 futures will find a strong support at 200 days moving average, but let us see how the S&P 500 futures are going to define during the next 2 or 3 months. We will find the S&P 500 futures, we will have to see that the S&P 500 futures try to sustain amid this zone or they started to move downward, because the S&P 500 futures will have to take a decisive move amid this final resistance. No doubt that the S&P 500 futures have come above the first resistance levels currently, but we have to keep a vigilant eye over the next move of the S&P 500 futures, because currently here you can see that this is a downward channel where the current position of S&P 500 futures are at the final downward line, where I find the S&P 500 futures at a decisive juncture, and on the other hand this formation which indicates the continuity of bearishness in the S&P 500 futures for some more time. Now let us see this chart in a daily time frame. So friends, this is a trend based fib extension where I map the movement of an indices or any equity move in a daily time frame. Here you can see that after touching this resistance level at 2933 in September 2018, S&P 500 continuously attempted to break this tough resistance at 2933 but could not cross this, and finally the S&P 500 futures started to move downward since October 3rd 2018 when the current tariff trade war started. The S&P 500 futures moved downward continuously. No doubt that we have seen a consolidation amid this zone from the level of 2636 to 2805, and since then, after touching this second resistance on December 4th 2018, S&P 500 indices moved downward with a nosedive move and touched the lows of 2337 on December 24th 2018. No doubt that the reversal is quite sharp, which brought the S&P 500 once again inside this zone. Friends, I call this zone as a trapping zone where the bulls are trapped inside this zone before a crash. If we have a look at the median uptrend line here, I find S&P 500 indices is still very much below the median uptrend line, which indicates the weakness. No doubt any news flow may turn this reversal into a downward move. Now I find that the S&P 500 futures may move downward once again with a nosedive move, as we have already seen here here in November 2018 when this shooting star formed before this downward move. I'm waiting for any such formation before going bearish on S&P 500. Now let us have a look at the movement of Footsie 100. Here you can see that the Footsie 100 index is also under pressure after coming downward since September 2018. We can see the Footsie 100 was coming downward with a slow and steady downward move and touched the lows of 6529 on December 27, 2018. No doubt that the Footsie 100 has seen some reversal back up to the level of 7225, but here you can see that the Footsie 100 is continuously attempting to cross this resistance. I call this level as a tough resistance for the Footsie 100, which is currently at 7225, which indicates that these continuous attempt by Footsie 100 indicates that shortly we are going to see a downward move back up to these levels what they have previously witnessed in December 2018. But if the Footsie 100 do not find sufficient support at these levels, we will see a sharp downward move below this level in Footsie 100. Now let us have a look at the movement of DAX. Here you can see the same movement that since June 15, 2018 we have seen a slow downward move in DAX, which resulted in a downward move when the DAX touched the level of 10,264 before returning on the uptrend path. Once again the DAX started to move upward up to these levels. Here you can see that till February 5th, 2019 DAX was moving above this median uptrend line, but a sharp downward move here you can see after the formation of this shooting star which created bearish pressure on DAX, and since then we can see the DAX is not able to break this median uptrend line. Here some consolidation is going on. DAX is trying to break this level of 11,674, but still I will call this attempt as a futile attempt because the DAX is not able to cross the level of 11,681, which may result in a downward move very shortly, and I find a downward move below 11,244 will indicate some more downward pressure, some more downward move in DAX, which may bring DAX up to the level of 10,350 in a short time. Now I would like to analyze the movement of Indian indices Nifty 50, where you can see that after touching the highs of 11,756 on August 28, 2018, Nifty 50 tried to break this level once again on September 3rd, 2018, but could not, and we witnessed a sharp downward move in Nifty 50, which resulted a downward trend which continued up to October 26, 2018. Since then, we have seen a reversal up to the level of 10,955, where you can see that the Nifty 50 has been constantly moving in a range bound manner. On the lower side finds support at 10,576, but on the higher side the Nifty 50 finds stiff resistance at 11,033. But on March 3rd, 2019 we have seen a sharp upward move above this range, but since March 8, 2019 we have seen the Nifty 50 to find a breakout from this zone, which has resulted in a sharp upward move, where we find on March 15, 2019 we have seen the Nifty 50 to touch this median uptrend line up to the level of 11,498. But before closing, this is a daily chart where you can see that after touching the highs of 11,493, Nifty 50 witnessed some exhaustion on the last trading session, which indicates the beginning of a downward move. No doubt that all these moving averages indicating some more upward moves may be there, but I find that if you notice that this zone from 11,317 up to 11,717 is a bootstrapping zone, where we have already witnessed the Nifty bulls to be trapped inside this zone when the market moved upward in September-October 2018. 2018 last time. So I find that the Nifty bulls may be trapped inside this zone till the Nifty 50 do not make a sustainable move above the level of 11,713. I find that this exhaustion is evident enough for downward pressure during the days ahead. No doubt that all the moving averages are indicating some strength in Nifty 50 during the upcoming week, but I find if the Nifty 50 is not able to cross this immediate resistance which at the median uptrend line, will see more exhaustive candles in Nifty 50 during the upcoming week. So friends, be ready to see an action in Nifty 50 during the next week, and be cautious because the Nifty 50 has entered in a very dangerous zone where the bulls are trapped most of the time during an upward move. So we will have to take a visual eye over the movement of Nifty 50 futures amid this zone from the levels of 11,355 to 11,752. First of all, the Nifty 50 will have to sustain above this median uptrend line for moving upward, and on the end for going more upward, the Nifty 50 will have to make a sustainable move above the level of 11,747. Then only the Nifty 50 may move more upward, but till the level of 11,756, Nifty traders may be cautious because the election fever has started in India, which may impact the movement of Indian indices, and we may see the Indian indices to take a sharp volatile move. And I find that formation of an exhaustive candle here, and I find the more probabilities of formation of an exhaustive candle amid this zone very shortly before the election results. We will find the Nifty 50 futures to take a downward move. If they are not able to cross this median uptrend line, we will find the Nifty 50 futures to take a nosedive move any time without warning, because the directional move of world indices will definitely have their prevalence over the movement of Indian indices. So be cautious while trading Nifty. Now let us have a look at the movement of gold. When we are discussing about the going bearishness or going uncertainty in global markets, let us see the movements of gold in a daily chart. Here you can see that the gold futures are still in a steady position. Here I find that the gold futures have started to move upward due to the growing uncertainty in global markets with prevailing impact of tariff trade war, no doubt, which is yet to be resolved. No doubt that the world's top two economies are trying their best to resolve this tariff trade war, but their efforts look not to reach at a final deal. So we will have to take a keen eye over their active participation to resolve this problem, to escape the recessionary moves in world indices. On the other hand, slowing growth data from the China indicates growing economic slowdown in most of the countries. Friends, be ready to see an action in global indices during the upcoming months. Be cautious till July 2019. I find the global situation may be normal or will reach at a conclusive position where we may find the decisive move in global indices. Nobody knows when the next market crash will occur, but the need of the hour is to be cautious on every step, because currently most of the world indices have reached in a bull-trapping zone where the bulls may be trapped any time, and we may find the beginning of a downward move in most of the indices during the month of May and June, where I find that we may see nosedive moves in most of the indices during the month of May and June 2019. So thank you friends, thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to share this video with your more and more friends. Thank you.